All right, here we go. It is episode 79 of the Odd G's podcast, where he is Harry Mays, Jason Martinez, brought to you by the Fudge Kitchen. What's going on, Harry? We got a great guest today.
Yeah, we do. We got no Eagles game this Sunday, so we figured we'd have to step it up a couple notches on the guest selection.
Yeah. We had to go like the philosophy of go big or go home.
Right.
So we went big.
Play the hits.
Let's get him in here right now. We don't have to go through this whole histrionics of bullshit and all this
No.
stuff. You follow him on Twitter at Mike Miss 20. Is it 25? Yeah, it's 25, right? Mike Miss 20. Is that his favorite number? Let's go to the man himself and ask.
It's 25. Not my favorite number. There's a very interesting story behind that, which I'll open with. But first of all, thanks for having me on the Odd G's podcast. I feel honored to be on the Odd G's podcast. The Twitter, people ask me this all the time, and I always say it was an honor of Ben Simmons, but it has nothing to do with Ben Simmons. It's just the number I picked out because the Fanatic, because I was tweeting a lot of political stuff, tried to disavow themselves of me and demanded that I take because it was Mike Miss 975.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they demanded that I drop the 975.
Wow.
And they demanded that I drop the logo that I had. I had the radio logo in the background. Yeah, that's the way I went to town. So I picked the number out of the air, 25.
Well, you should have picked 94.1. Mike missed 94.1. I really fucked with him. Now that would have been something.
Yeah. That's just one of the things that happened along the way.
Oh, the steps of the journey, Michael.
Yeah.
They are aplenty.
Yeah.
So how are things going with you?
Let me get this straight. You want me to disassociate myself. In other words, you don't want this radio station promoted, even though I work for the radio station.
Right.
Well, I don't think
you basically ran it. You were the face on the marquee.
Yeah. So I don't think they realized that. It was just a red ass decision that they made.
Yeah.
Which is typical of certain companies in this radio business, but certainly typical of that company.
Are you saying they have a lack of foresight, Michael?
I would say that they have a mild lack of foresight.
Well, there was some rumors going around about a week or two ago that you might be headed back to the Fanatic.
Where are those rumors come from?
I don't know, but I heard them.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, listen, I
heard them from Harry.
Now, here's what I am. I sit here as an ultimate free agent. People know my phone number. Mm-hmm. If they know my phone number and they would like to have a discussion, I would say that I would listen to a discussion. But knowing the shape they're in right now and the financial considerations that they would have to give, I would think that would be very unlikely.
Very brief conversation.
Yeah. We're all free agents, really. All three of us, right?
Yeah.
My DMs
so I have a really good podcast now.
But nobody knows my phone number, Harry.
Yeah, Mike's podcast is freaking doing great, right? I mean,
it's doing very well. Yeah. The Bet Rivers people came right after I left the radio. They came in and offered me a really great deal. And I do podcasts twice a week, and sometimes more than that when the Phillies are in the World Series or the Eagles are in the playoffs. So then we do a post game almost every time. But it's 2 days a week in a 45-minute podcast, and it's just me without caller input. So it's the same me without the caller input.
And no guardrails either. Radio's like bowling with the guardrails up. The guardrails are gone. You can throw a gutter ball now, and it doesn't matter.
It's true. I try not to curse on it because I don't know. Like I know a lot of people still would listen to it in the car. Maybe they're picking up their kids. So I try to play by the rules, and every now and then I'll say motherfucker, but not a lot.
Yeah,
not gratuitous.
No, I curse every now and then.
Not gratuitous,
but not a lot.
But my producer has a problem with he says shit almost. He's a little rough around the edges. That Darren
Dutch,
yeah, Dutch from the old days.
Yeah,
my producer doing a good job.
He is a little rough around.
He's a little rough around. Yeah, he's like a rough little, South Jersey mentality guy.
Yeah,
hasn't
spent enough time on the air.
What exactly does that mean?
South Jersey's a different mentality, Harry. I can't.
Oh, it is. I get lost every time I go over there. Like if I don't use
they're brought
GPS,
up in a different realm, and
yeah,
Jersey people are very interesting to me. Even though we just were separated by a river, it's a completely different.
it's like a
upbringing.
different country. Yeah, it is.
It really is.
It's almost like you went to like New England. It's just so because New England is so different from here, and Jersey, it's so close. Like we're all in this Delaware Valley, right?
Yeah,
Or
we're in
the
this
Delaware Valley.
the Delaware
Yeah.
Valley, yes. And we have so many common traits, but the New Jersey people are so different from the PA people. It's stunning.
it is. I don't know if all the school districts are the same. Like all the Indian name school districts, I can't differentiate one from the other. Cherokee, Shawnee,
Yeah.
I don't know. They're all.
Lenape.
It's almost like the same school. So
It may be. Maybe it might be the same school. Mike, speaking of the Phillies, I did a lot of shows around it, but they come back home 2 games at Citizens Bank Park, which is a jungle and a very difficult place to play. And somehow they don't win one of those 2 games. Were you stunned?
I already named it the most disappointing loss in Philadelphia sports history.
Wow.
And people challenge me on that. And I go, I know which ones you're thinking of. I mean, 2002 Tampa Bay loss
Yep.
to the Eagles, obviously. But I go, okay, Tampa Bay was a pretty good team. It wasn't like
93.
we lost to a schmo.
Yeah.
And then the 2011 Phillies that lost to the Cardinals. So I
Yeah.
go, that's a short series in baseball. But that team stinks that they lost to.
Mhm.
I don't know how they do it. By the grace of God, they got on some kind of a roll and won some short series. But 2 things that happened. They went up 2-0. They thought it was over. They go to Arizona, and here was a telltale for me. They had the audacity not to take BP on the field.
Ooh.
And I'm going, no, this is a different atmosphere, different environment. You got to see how the ball reacts, and you have to get a feel for it. Why would you not take batting practice on the field? And they were taking BP in the cage. It's not the same. And I'm going, that's an overconfidence.
Yeah.
So then they lose 2 there, and then they win game 3. First of all, when they went to Arizona, that little backup catcher goofball says something about wanting to swim in the pool.
Yeah.
Like, of all people.
Yeah.
That guy. So now they lose 2 and they win game 5 and they go, oh, it's over anyway. We're going to come back in. Here's the thing, this crowd and the aura of Citizens Bank Park is going to carry us. All we have to do is show up. And they got themselves in a position where they lose game 6 and then everything squeezes tight.
They're tight.
Your hands on the bat, your sphincter, the whole thing, and you lose your complete mindset and your focus and your discipline on at bats and what you're supposed to do. And you swing at bad pitches, and you're desperate, and that creeps in. And that's what did it. And it's disgraceful to me that they lose to that team.
Mhm.
I can't imagine losing to a team that won 84 games and had a negative run differential and losing game 6 and 7 at home. To me, it's the worst loss ever.
Yeah, I think Philly against Texas would have been a good World Series.
Yeah, and who knows what would have won that? I have a feeling maybe I don't think Texas was that great either, to be honest with you. So it was a lost opportunity. And we know in sports, you keep getting there, and you're like, well, we're still good, but things don't always work out that way. Like some guys get hurt and it blows your whole season. Like you had to take advantage of this. It was the easiest matchup and the easiest way for you to win a World Series, and they couldn't beat Arizona. And for me, that's a pain that'll never go away.
What'd you think of Castellanos post-game interviews and stuff? That vibe that he was putting out. Like, I thought it was bullshit.
He's a very strange individual.
He's odd.
He's not the kind of guy that he would be the guy like in the locker room that I would just. I was there in spring training, and I just noticed an aura about him. Like, he eats by himself. He was on the phone. Like, he doesn't associate with people, and like players will say he's a different cat. I don't know what his story is, but he makes it. It's funny because I was talking to John Clark about this. He made every interview miserable. Now, the guy on Matt Weiner doesn't know how to interview anybody, right? But Matt Weiner's thinking, if I throw this thought out, a player in an interview will usually pick up on it and say it. Well, Castellanos said, well, where's the question?
Yeah.
Like why do you have to do it? Like, I don't understand why you would have to do something like that.
It's being a dick to be a dick.
Right. And I don't even think he knows he's being a dick. I think he's just a natural dick.
Yeah.
So like John Clark Johnny Sunshine, Mr. Wonderful.
Yeah, everything's
he's
great.
He's like harmless in every interview, and he wrestles with him too. He asks him a legitimate question. Instead of answering, he goes, "Well, why don't you take that camera and just take it around the stadium, and then you'll answer your question." And I'm going, "Why is it necessary?" So I texted Clark, and he says it's like a wrestling match every time you interview the guy.
Yeah, I don't think he liked him since day one when he ran him down at the airport when he arrived.
Yeah,
he took offense to that.
Yeah, the guy. I don't know. Like he goes hot and cold, and he killed him in that series. So
didn't he buy Ben Simmons's house?
He did.
That's a problem, right?
And he got really uppity when people asked him about it. He got really
That's bad juju right out of the gate.
It is.
Yeah, and I gotta be honest. I know the kid's cute and everything, but there are two things I'm really tired of. I got tired of little Liam, and I'm Kelsey'd out.
Yes, me too. Thank you.
Right?
Oh my
Over
God.
Kelsey.
I'm done.
Yeah, little Liam, they got a big ovation at the Eagles game that Sunday. Then they proceed to lose Monday, Tuesday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm Kelsey'd out too.
Good luck to little Liam. I hope the kid grows up big and strong and becomes a baseball player.
I think they're going to try to trade him.
Yeah, they might.
Yeah,
they might. Well, he's been passed around a lot. There's a reason for it. There's always a reason for that.
Oh my God, unbelievable! What have you thought so far, Mike, of the Eagles season? I know you're doing your show post game with Captain Happy Seth Joyner, and he's disgusted, despite the fact that they're 8-1.
He threw me a curveball a couple of weeks ago when they lost to the Jets, and I was really hard on Jalen Hurts, and he got positive. Like I'm going. What happened to you here tonight? But yeah, you're right. He always is. He's always like carpet about what they don't do defensively. Watching a game with him is really interesting because he'll point out stuff, and he's like he has good acumen for pointing out stuff. Good eye, what they should do, But he's using a lot of curse words when he watches an Eagle game.
You can find the mole on the supermodel, man.
Yeah, but he's all defensive oriented on what how linebacker should play and how guys should play press coverage and all that kind of stuff. Wow. He hated Gannon last year, and I can see why people would hate Gannon, but his defense was pretty successful. But he wasn't
an NFL record in sacks.
He wasn't. Seth's an aggressive guy. He grew up in a very aggressive defensive environment with Buddy Ryan, and then he witnessed the Jim Johnson stuff, and he has no tolerance for being soft. But he did praise Sean Desai last week. So,
well, they made Dak Prescott look pretty good, and Sam Howell has had two of his best games against the Eagles as far as passing goes.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what that Sam Howell thing's about. I can't figure that out. Dak, you just know, is going to just mess up at the end.
Yeah, well, putting the foot out of bounds.
He does that, and the kicker kicks about. They got Rashad Penny back. Like all of a sudden, I'm going, what? Do they think Devin Hester's back there? Rashad Penny can't outrun me in 20 yards, and I'm 100 years old. He's back receiving the kick. The kicker kicks it out of bounds. So they gave them two drives. One was on special teams. They got ripped off the guy's helmet. They gave the Eagles two drives that start at the 40. Yeah. They're automatic points when you do that. The Dallas Cowboys, they have a bad cloud over them.
They do. And it's called Jerry Jones.
Yeah. And they made no moves at the deadline, too, which kind of surprised me.
Yeah. The Eagles are obviously the best team in the NFC. I can't see now that they're going to get through this tough stretch here. I see a couple losses maybe, but I'm looking at who could catch them. And there's really no. The 49ers have fallen off the map all of a sudden.
Lost Lions straight.
The Lions are kind of semi-fraudulent. I wouldn't expect that. They could lose this weekend.
They're not coming to the Link in January and winning a game.
No.
Yeah,
they need to come here and lose before they can ultimately win.
I like a number one seed for them. Yeah, at this point,
Hurts needs to get healthy though.
Yeah, well, he's got this bye. I think he'll get healthy. It's going to be interesting what Steve Spagnuolo does because he had a really good plan against Hurts. In the Super Bowl, but now Hurts is
Spags.
He's Spags.
He had a pretty good plan against Miami too.
I ran into Spags this summer. I was talking to him about that, but he's not such a nice guy, Spags.
Oh yeah, he's great.
So he had that game plan against his mobility. Now he's not as mobile. So we'll see how that defensive game plan changes.
I think
I don't know.
the Goddard loss could be big here over these couple of weeks.
Yeah, they have nobody
right
to back him up.
Yeah.
They got Manny Moe and Jack.
Go sign Gronk.
With all the respect.
Sign Gronk.
Yeah.
Should have traded for Ertz.
Yeah. Lorenzo Carcaterra is their backup tight end who wrote the Bronx Tale.
Right. I was going to say, it sounds like a contractor.
Yeah. Classic.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, did you watch any episodes of Get Gotti? There's only 3 of them.
Yeah, Harry, I'm going on an airplane later today. I just downloaded it.
Oh, okay.
Based on your recommendation.
It was pretty
good.
It's
good.
Yeah.
I'll watch it on the airplane.
Where are you going?
Going to San Diego.
Oh, nice.
Wheels up.
Golf?
Yeah, for a couple of days. But I had this bad knee. Now, Harry's going to laugh at me because Harry used to make fun of me when I was playing in baseball leagues way back in the day, which necessitated a back surgery. So last year, and I just can't not stay active. I had to play competitively. So last year, I got back to playing basketball.
Oh, boy.
And I wound up tearing a tendon that connected my ankle to my foot, my left foot. So they had the tendon detached and rolled back.
Ooh.
And so for the next week, my foot was flopping. It was like Herman Munster foot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
got the soccer, the doctor for the U.S. soccer team to look at it. I knew somebody who knew him. And he said, you need surgery. So I got that fixed. I was in a boot for 12 weeks. But I came back to play in a baseball league this year. And over the years, I think I've developed, like a constant arthritic deterioration. So now I have bone on bone in my right knee, and I need to get a partial knee replacement after this summer of baseball.
Partial?
After the season?
Yeah, it's a partial. They do partials now. I have the one side of the left side of my right knee is the bone on bone part. The other side of the knee still has a gap. So they do partial now, which is less recovery time. But I have to stretch out. So I had to buy a first class ticket because I couldn't cramp in.
You got that kind of cash. That's a business expense for the winery, Michael.
I'm going to try it.
You going to play golf out there?
No, I'm not going to play golf.
No,
it's just a mini vacation. Going to see a concert out there at the National.
The National.
Are you?
You guys don't know about the National.
Yeah, I do. They're on the Spectrum. I listen.
Are they? Yeah, you're way behind the National curve. Martinez is way behind that.
I have. What is the National?
That would never be his thing.
I'm still listening to like mid to late 90s heavy metal thrash.
Mike,
yeah, I know.
He wasn't even aware, Mike, a couple of weeks ago when U2 opened at the Sphere, and I wanted to talk about the Sphere and my observation that U2 is shot. Like Bono sounds like he's totally shot. He didn't even know what the Sphere was. So I'm like, where have you been? He goes, I'm in a hockey bag. Like he's so into the hockey team.
He lives in Jason World.
Yeah.
That's funny. I think of him every time I got Sirius on, and I go channels 35, 36. It's Sirius XMU, and then there's the Alt Nation, and somehow I slipped to 37.
Liquid metal,
which is the metal channel, Octane.
Yeah.
And I go, how he? So I sent him a Breaking Benjamin song the other day. You never answered it. Were you a Breaking Benjamin guy?
I was not.
Weren't?
Aren't they from Jersey though?
I heard of them.
They're from Wilkes-Barre.
Okay, yeah. I knew they were pretty close. No, I was never a big fan of them. I got stuck like with the 3 kids and listening to the shit that they like Taylor Swift all the time. I just listen to the stuff that I've always listened to. I haven't changed at all.
Yeah,
I think you like 3 Days Grace.
Look, I'll tolerate it. You know?
Like Nathaniel Ratliff, Mike?
See, the 3 Days Grace and Breaking Benjamin are metal, but they're too soft for him.
Yeah, that's not heavy metal. That's metal. Not heavy metal.
They're a little too melodic for Martinez.
Yeah. Well, I like melody. I do like melody. That's why I love Pantera.
Oh, God. You like Nathaniel Ratliff, Mike?
And the Night Sweats?
Yeah. I like that guy.
Yeah, the National actually collaborate with them.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I know who that guy is. I remember he had that big hit, right?
Yeah. Nathaniel Ratliff and the Night Sweats?
Yeah. I remember seeing him
a big hit. But
yeah.
I'm into two bands right. The National I've been into for a while, but Manchester Orchestra is a band.
Oh yeah, they play them on the Spectrum too.
I think you'd like them.
Yeah.
I'm still stuck. I'm stuck in Metallica land and Pantera land.
Yeah, you're not a second level thinker.
You need to evolve.
I'm definitely a second level thinker, but I'm not a second level on the music thing. I've not gotten past my initial level of Ozzy and Sabbath.
You can't be a partial second level thinker.
Well, I'm clogged. I'm like the music element's clogged.
Second level thinker is a second level thinker in all areas.
Well, I will surprise Harry. I'll go with like a little Looking Glass brandy when we open the show.
Yeah, it's from 1972.
Yeah, it's new. Nobody's heard it. That's alive today. So except us.
Yeah, you know where that's new? Up in Western Canada, where you belong.
Yeah, Saskatoon.
That's where it's Manitoba.
I'm trying, Harry. I send him occasionally. I'll send him a tune.
Yeah.
I listen to it once and I go, that's nice, and then I go right back to what I go to. I'm just stuck. I'm stuck.
You stunned me when you sent me a text once saying this XX. You like this XX song?
Oh, yeah, I like
XX
that.
is in my wheelhouse.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
The song from the National that I know is the New Order T-shirt.
Yeah, that's one of their songs on their new album. But
right.
The big hit that gets a lot of airplay is the Tropic Thunder
Tropic
News.
Morning News or
Tropic
something.
Morning News.
Yeah.
Tropic Morning News.
They've been around for 20 some years.
Yes, they have.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Oh,
Should I put that on my Spotify playlist, Harry?
Yeah. First 2 pages of Frankenstein is
great album. Great new album.
There you go.
All right. I got this DM from a guy the other day, Mike, actually yesterday. He sent this to me at 2:30. He says, he said to me, we should drive to Vegas for the F1 race. I know it's hockey season, but let's do it. I said, I wish. And he said, I know you'd love to, but by the way, do you keep in touch with Mikey Miss? So you guys are really good. I email him occasionally and he writes back. Guy Dave Bowers. Are you familiar with Dave?
Oh, I remember getting emails from that guy.
Yeah.
So,
I hear from listeners. My email, you can get me now with the podcast. It's mike@mikemiss.com for my website. So, a lot of people email me. I love emails. I'll answer every one of them and go back and forth with them. Yeah, that's cool.
See, the email's a
slow guy was emailing me and said he got into a letter exchange, an email exchange with the market manager of Beasley, who is of course still there, and he was like saying, "Why is Mike Misnelli still on the station?" And like lies come out. Like, there's an exchange of lies.
Yeah,
that's not what happened at all.
You miss it? You missed the daily grind?
I told you, I sent it to both of you guys. I was mentioned on Joey Merlino's podcast.
Skinny Joey?
Joey has a podcast. And he was talking about his association with Eric Lindros, which was you weren't my producer then, Jason, were you?
No, you were WIP then.
Yeah. Well, I thought you were there. No,
I was there, but I was.
No, they're big controversial because I was a writer, and I wrote a piece in the magazine, and I had a lot of information, and it became a big controversy where people came against me. It was all true. I had all these South Philly sources telling me this whole thing, but in his podcast, he lied about it again, and he called me Massinelli.
Oh, fellow Paisan, he can't do that.
Joey. Come on, Joey. Don't make that mistake, or I'll reveal the time that I took a softball team down to 9th and Wharton and kicked your ass, your team.
I've heard that story before. They were outraged. You missed the daily grind, Mike?
At first I did. It's like Angela's going through the same thing. I heard him tell you the same thing. There's this void where you used to the day-to-day engagement, and when stuff happens, you want to comment on it, and you can't do that really in a podcast because it's just too far and few between. But I miss it when there are topics that I really would like to opine on.
Right,
which is few and far
between.
Yeah. Otherwise, I have a really relaxed pace now, and I got 2 jobs that are pretty financially healthy for me, and I got a lot of free time. Free time can sometimes jam you up because you don't know what to do with yourself. So, I do a lot of leaf blowing and gardening, and I get down to the winery every now and then. And I was actually part of our picking grapes harvest for the Chardonnay grapes I got down there with the clippers, and you get the grapes and you bucket them, and then you take them to the crusher the whole bit. So that was fun, except I very inexperienced. I didn't know how sharp these things were, and I nicked myself like 5 times. So I had to call for the medic like 5 times to stop the bleeding. But it was fun.
Like the dude in Platoon. Medic!
Yeah, I go, hey, I got a Band-Aid. Nobody in the field had a Band-Aid. What, I guess you guys don't clip yourself. Bring Band-Aid. It's like, it's got to be standard equipment when you're clipping grapes.
Where is the vineyard?
One guy wearing
Cape May Courthouse, New Jersey.
Okay.
And there are a lot of wineries in the area, and ours is called Natali Vineyards, and I'm having fun with it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is it just yours, or do you have partners?
I am just a minority partner in it. We have one main partner, is an older gentleman who's an ex-lawyer, and he's the guy who purchased it. I was looking to purchase this. Harry, you know about this. Like about 4 years ago, it was for sale, and I was looking to purchase it. At that time, I go, I would have to do almost everything myself, and I just didn't have that kind of expertise nor time to do it. So I passed on it, and somebody else bought it. And out of the blue, I emailed the guy. And I said, listen, I was really interested in buying this wine. If you're interested in taking on an apartment, let me know. And he knew of me. And he said, yeah, absolutely. So I bought in.
It all worked out.
Yeah.
Nice.
Beautiful. You surprised the Cuz left radio?
Well, that was a shocking development.
Yeah.
I knew Anthony was looking to do some bigger project. So
he was always looking to do something.
Yeah. And
he had his hand on something all the time.
Yeah, and I was in on the original meetings of all that. Met with the guy who runs it, the guy from Denver, and saw the game plan. I mean, that is still actually an option for me. So we're just kind of like, I'm just waiting it out. Anthony has an idea where we would do a show together. So who knows?
A streaming show.
Well, I got nothing but time. I'm the ultimate free agent. I could add another show.
Right. Well, the writing thing would really appeal to you, I think. Right?
Yeah. I don't know, Harry. I haven't written in so long that I don't know. Like, probably if I got back into it, it would come at me. But I don't really think about writing as much anymore. Angela, I was talking to Angela about that. He wrote a book in like 6 months. And he said when he got in front of the keyboard, because he was a brilliant writer, and he said when he got in front of the keyboard, he just flowed out of him. So I don't know, maybe something like that would happen.
Wow.
Jeez. The guy retires, like, take a break for a little bit. He just sits down and writes a book in 6 months, like cramming it like it's an assignment.
He thought that the longer he stayed out, the less people would be interested in it. And it's all the time. But the fact that he finished it that quickly is like amazing to me.
Yeah.
But here's the thing about him, though. He took a note on everything he did in life. So he doesn't have to rely on his memory. He's got it all documented. Like he documented every segment of every show that he ever did for that long. Wow. And documented all the interviews that he did and the quotes that he had. So he had already had that in like many books that he could just go back. Okay, this happened this time.
He
just had to piece it together.
legal pads filled.
Yeah, like he was the opposite of the way I did a show.
Yeah, well, he used to say, if I need this stuff, I know it's there. If the show takes a turn, then I'm fine. I'll pivot. Right. But I have to have the safety blanket of knowing I have everything planned if I need it.
Yeah, I didn't I thought freeform was a better way to do it because depending on the feedback you got from callers, depending on what thought was in your head, you can let it roll and always come back to the same topic. But he had every segment planned. I can't imagine doing that. All right, this is a 20-minute segment. Here's what I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to pivot there. And then, okay, now after that segment, it's like I could never do that.
He did it almost like it was a TV show.
Yeah, he really did.
Yeah. During the breaks, he'd be like, everybody up.
Angelo is a very anal man. I mean, we all know it. Mm-hmm. He's a great guy. He's always on the edge and anal. So that's the way it worked for him. The opposite worked for me.
Yeah, he would during breaks, he'd be like, I'm going to do this. And, getting everybody, keeping the energy up. At the end of that show, when we were at WIP and we'd meet with the morning show after, he would fall into the chair. He was fucking gassed.
He gave it all.
Yeah. Unreal. The camera doing mornings over at WIP now. He's the 610. He's the successor to Ange. Like that's a stunning development.
I will say this. I do not understand where talk radio went.
Me neither.
I listen. I guess change was inevitable because when we got in on the ground floor, we did it a certain way, and we all got older. So I guess a new regime has to come in, but it just doesn't feel the same to me. And I don't want to cut anybody's balls off here, but it's just different.
Yeah,
I will say that.
Mike, I thought it needed a change, but not where it went. I think it went the wrong way. It went to disingenuous hot takes and all that stuff. Like I thought it had a chance to kind of take the fork in the road to like, let's just be real and stop with the dumb hot takes.
Listen. I guess people still listen because the numbers indicate people are listening. I don't think they listen with the same satisfaction though. Just from the people I hear. Yeah, the people I talk to, oh God, sports talk. Hey, what happened to sports talk radio? Well,
Yeah, I get that a lot too.
Change is inevitable.
What do you think of this in-season NBA tournament, Mike?
I don't quite understand it.
I'm actually kind of looking forward to it.
Really?
Yeah.
I do not understand it. I don't respond to gimmicky things that try to recreate interest in a product that's just mundane. It's just still a regular season to me. And I don't know if they were doing it to pump up the interest in the time when there's really no interest, if they're doing it to pump up players who are to tap into their competitiveness, that they would bring out their best, because it's like those guys are competitive. When they play a pickup game in the summer, they want to win. Mm-hmm. So if you put stakes out here that you can win something, the pride thing, maybe that generates, but I'm not that interested in it, to be honest with you.
It starts for the Sixers tonight. Like this Detroit game is part of the round robin, I think.
Yeah, garbage game though.
Yeah, totally.
What's the NBA going to do when they try to drum up interest, but guys get rested in load management?
Well, they tried to address that, and the guys are like thumbing their nose at it. The guys need rest 2 games in.
Yeah.
So maybe this is a method to get guys not to sit out. All right, we got something to play for. Let's all play now. Maybe who knows.
I saw that like Embiid for the home opener. It was the 3rd game of the year. They were considering keeping him out because of 3 games in 4 days. I'm like, he's been off all summer.
Yeah, I went to
playing, but
the Celtics game on Wednesday, and I'm watching Boston. And I know they had a back-to-back, but I'm watching Jaylen Brown and Tatum are 2 good players who you never know when they're going to go in outer space. I really never seen anything like it. Like Jaylen Brown was playing on Neptune.
Yeah, he was like 4 for 18 or something.
Yeah, so these guys go, here's what the NBA is to us. We're going to get a max contract. We're going to preserve our health. We're going to sit out sometimes. And then we're just going to try to get through the regular season so we can really play in the playoffs. That's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's true.
And they're bigger than the game, and they know it.
Mm-hmm.
They've created a system where they wanted to market the stars. It was successful for the league to market the stars. Yeah. But now the stars go, we're bigger than
they run the league. Yeah.
Yeah. And so we can do anything we want. So these long-term contracts we sign, they don't mean anything because we can just bark at it and get out of it if we want.
Yeah.
And cause trouble. So I don't know if they think that's a problem with the league. I guess it isn't. It's more successful than ever. More, they've got the national TV contracts, and it's the NBA is a pretty viable product.
Mike, baseball took a huge step back with the rule changes that you and I debated for years, the shift and the pitch clock and all that stuff. But the games were like 19 minutes.
Yeah, I liked all those changes. People say, "Well, you're an old school guy."
There's action.
No, I like the change.
I like them too.
Quicken up the game. And the next step is the robotic umpires or the tennis system
for balls and strikes.
That's inevitable. That's going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, based upon some of the umpiring I saw in the playoffs, it needs to happen yesterday.
The worst thing that can happen to those umpires is they put that box on TV.
Yeah.
Yep. Shows them how off they are.
The whole world sees. Look at where that pitch was. It's a foot outside.
Yep. I can't believe the umpire union allowed that to happen.
Yeah, well, they've lost their power a little bit.
Oh, no doubt about it. Anything else you want to get to, Harry, with Mike?
What about Penn State, Mike? I know.
Jeez, you didn't have to
they
go
got
there.
Michigan on Saturday.
I don't think they're going to win that game, but
No.
I have tuned out.
I know.
watched it got invested in the season, and then they played Ohio State, and they weren't even in it.
Yeah.
Really disinterested now. That's what I am.
So it's and it galls me, and it's always galled me. I've always talked about this, how Penn State fans can just be content with that kind of level.
Going 8-4 or whatever, 9-3.
Yeah. This Penn State website published this thing on Twitter the other day about possible bowl appearances. And I'm going, the audacity that you throw up the Gator Bowl, Citrus Bowl, and if they just, I'm going, like, what is wrong with you people?
The Outback Bowl again.
Like, can't you bathe in the disappointment of them losing to Ohio State and be disgruntled about it and demand more?
Mm-hmm.
But they don't, and that's why Penn State is what it is, and they're just happy to be there. They're content to have a coach who doesn't cheat and says all the right things and dazzles you with his bullshit. And I go, would that happen at Ohio State? If Ohio State was never in a national championship picture, Michigan, if they were in never, like, what would happen to those two schools? Alabama, let's go down the list. Clemson, they're freaking out already. They haven't been out of that thing. It's been 2 years. Penn State hasn't won a national championship since 1986.
Yeah.
Get close to the Final Four or get disgruntled about it. I just hate it.
Clemson has 2 natties.
A miracle. They're 4.5 is a short line.
It is kind of short.
I guess they're going to be in this game, but I just can't see them winning it. They just don't have the proper skill players. The quarterback is good. I would have thought they would have been able to recruit dynamic wide receivers to go along with that kid. They really haven't. Their defense is good, obviously, but I just don't see them winning the game, and I'm frustrated by it.
Yeah, and Franklin will fuck it up at some point too. You know that.
Yeah. So like, you get what? You're going to wait till next year. The running backs will be back next year. The quarterback's going to probably have another big year next year.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe next year is the year instead of this year. But I kind of thought that they would be a little closer. They got dominated by Ohio State.
Yeah, it was ugly.
You're right. They're climbing up Dabo's ass down in South Carolina, and he's got 12 consecutive 10+ win seasons and 2 national championships in the last 7 or 8 years.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like people. There's no tolerance. A big program should have no tolerance for not being a contender.
Mm-hmm.
And
they should fire Dabo, and Penn State should hire him.
Yeah.
Dabo was on the Mikey Miss show one year.
Like $80 million to get out of Franklin's contract.
Yeah.
I don't care.
You're not going to do that.
Dabo came on Mike's show.
Penn State's hemorrhaging some money right now, so they're not going to do that.
Remember we had Dabo on, Mike, at the Maxwell Football Club?
At the Maxwell Club. He was good.
He was charming as hell.
Yeah, can we have the Alabama quarterback on that?
Yeah, we did. That was I forget his name.
Come on, Harry, he's still in the league. You're back. They re-signed him this year.
The kid had the hot mom. He had the hot mom.
Yes,
the good-looking girlfriend. It was the girlfriend he had.
Oh no, damn it! He was with Cincinnati as their backup for a couple.
Brent Musburger was salivating over his girlfriend.
Right. Oh.
Yeah.
I forget his name.
I do too. Last thing, Mike, for me, I got this note from my buddy Raider Frank. He said he ran into you at the Hooters show on Saturday.
At the Keswick?
Yeah, I was at the Keswick. My buddy Matt Cappy, who is a trumpet player.
AJ McCarron.
Yeah,
yes,
that's the guy.
Matt Cappy is a guy from Delran, and he's a real famous session trumpet player. He's played all over the world with everybody. Patti LaBelle, Jill Scott, Michael Jackson way back in the day. So he's toured all over the world, and he was hired to be one of the 3-man brass section for the Hooters. It's amazing. These guys that are musicians just pick up on stuff and blend right in.
Yeah.
Like the Hooters are going to play 2 gigs at Keswick. All right, we have to assemble a trombone player, a saxophone player, and a trumpet player. And boom, 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 they get the 3 guys that are really well known. They have sheet music in front of them, but they just like magic.
Uh-huh.
They
just blend in like they've been part of the band for 30 years.
Yep.
It's fascinating to me how the musicians can just blend with one another. But the Hooters were excellent. Listen, I was a big fan of the Hooters in the 80s.
Me too.
And Robert Hazard and all those bands that came up through the 80s.
The A's. I used
Tommy
to love
Conwell and the Young Rumblers.
Yeah.
John Eddy. All those guys. So the Hooters were excellent. They haven't lost a beat.
They just got done that European tour.
They just came off a big tour.
Well, they're huge in Europe.
They're
well-known in Europe than they are here. But, they were tight. The band was tight.
They were touring with Rick Springfield.
David Seekinen, who I know personally because he is from Bristol Township.
Yeah, he's my neighbor.
Oh, is he?
Oh, David he lives like 10 doors up the street.
Really? Yeah. Good dude.
Great dude.
He wore a T-shirt that said Levittown.
You only get that T-shirt. So
I was hanging with all of them after the show.
Yeah,
that's
cool.
Pretty fun.
They toured with Rick Springfield on this latest tour. That
really?
guy had one song, and he's still going.
Dr. Noah Drake on
at the General Hospital.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
A little stint on the soaps and one hit, and you're good to go for the rest of your life.
Yep.
Mike, last thing, I said it was last thing before, but I know you had Keith Jones on the show.
Yes, we did.
By the way, the interview was fantastic.
Well, thank you.
Your conversation with Jonesy. What do you think of that move? Like, that's a weird, like a guy comes from morning radio and the TV booth and is now the president of the team.
I think he's got the demeanor to pull it off. Like, he's got a general manager. I don't know how much he's going to be involved in personnel, but I think he is a good front man. Nobody dislikes him. He's got all kinds of contacts. I think it was a good move. I don't know how long it's going to take. This team is so far down that I don't know how long it's going to take to bear fruit. But listen, they made a move. All right. It was a move that was different. I think most fans appreciated that they wanted to go different. It was kind of a foolproof move because people know these guys. Me, I was always why do you hire ex-Flyers? Can you just go in another direction and build a team in another direction? But I like Jonesy a lot, and I think he knows the game well. And I think he will try really hard to bring this thing back. And you're a big Danny Briere fan. We had Danny on also. I'm sure you have faith in Danny, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, look, not many guys that made the kind of dough he did what he did. I mean, he went and ran an ECHL team. And
went back to
school. Yeah, he went to Penn. I tried to book him one day, Mike, and he goes, I can't do it then. I'm going to be in class. I go, what do you mean class? He goes, I went back to school. I go, where are you going to school? He goes, I went to Penn. I went to Wharton, the School of Business. I'm going, what? You made a lot of dough, dude. You don't need to do that.
Yeah, well, listen, I like that path.
Yeah.
So it gives him a lot more credibility in trying to do what he does here.
It makes him serious.
Yeah. But you haven't covered the Flyers. They are just not thought about at all.
No.
And I know that's got to be difficult for you, Jason.
Yeah, it sucks.
They're not even thought, like nobody ever talks about them. I run out. I'm in a lot of circles. Nobody even brings them up.
Yeah.
And I don't know how long it's going to take to break through that and become viable where people will actually talk about you again. I was at a game. I told you I was at the game a couple of weeks ago with that new thing they built up the top of the arena where the hockey players kind of look like ants down there when you're up there.
Game looks easy from up there, doesn't it?
You can see the play develop, you know? But yeah, it was fun to be up there. I had my first hockey game in a really long time.
You got to hope that this Russian kid is like the kid that whenever he gets on the ice, you just go to the edge of your seat, and that's what you got to hope for. But you're right; like the last couple of years it's been brutal. It's been tough.
Yeah, you gotta have conversations.
That's the thing now. They got to fight to get back into the conversation. They're not in the conversation.
Yeah, no, you're right. I don't know how long that's going to take, or whether people will have patience for it.
Yeah, Michael, thanks for doing this, man. Get your flight.
Yeah, thanks.
This was awesome.
Yeah, pleasure. How's your golf game, Harry?
That's hit and miss. Depends on chipping. Yeah, it all comes down to the short game. I can putt, but I just can't chip.
Loosen those hands, Harry.
Yeah.
Caress the.
I get quick at the bottom sometimes.
Caress the grip.
Yeah.
You know how many times, Mike, I go, you want to do the show tomorrow at 11 a.m.? I'm golfing.
Yeah.
It's golfing.
I've asked him 3 times.
Yeah, he's asked me 3 times.
He's always got something going.
Yeah. I have, and I've adjusted to this life very quickly.
Shocking.
Jason, ask me how many times Harry's invited me to his club.
Yeah, what's
He didn't
going
like
on,
my
Harry?
club. He used to make fun of my club. I'll bring you in the
That's not a-
springtime.
That's not a 3.
Mikey Miss as a guest at the club will up the stature of the club, Harry.
Yeah.
Put that club on the map.
A goose egg.
Yeah, the whole thing. You get the
He
cuz out there.
looks down at my club. You kidding me? From up there in White Marsh, they look down at us.
Mike, thanks for doing this. Follow Mike on
All right,
Twitter at
guys.
MikeMiss25. Get the Mike Missinelli podcast. I was sending Mike statistics about his own podcast. He's like, holy shit. He was like,
oh, you were
7
sending him the stats?
Yeah, a while back.
Oh, wow.
They were doing their podcast is doing great. I still follow it. So it's in my subscription list as well. So make sure you follow the Mike Missinelli podcast.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm having fun doing it. And
the post-game show with
the
Kraus.
All G's podcast sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, we're all over the place, Mike.
And the
awesome.
post-game show too with Seth.
Yeah, Seth and Derek Gunn.
D Gunn, yeah.
And a new young lady who is going to make inroads. Her name's Kayla Santiago.
Oh yeah,
wow.
is part of the program.
Nice.
Santiago.
Is that at the Ocean Casino?
It's at the Ocean Casino, where we have a collision of Giant and Jets fans come down from New York all the time.
Oh wow!
And normally they're disappointed and they leave in anger.
Kayla Santiago.
Except the Jets beat the Eagles that day, and it was like bliss for them, and we couldn't shut them up.
Kayla Santiago, her death, while tragic, saved lives. Mike, thanks for doing this, man.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, guys.
San Diego.
Talk to you. All right, bye-bye.
There he is, Mikey Miss.
Yeah.
Program.
Love that.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Kayla Santiago.
You know, I got into another TV show. I want to run this by you.
No, what is it?
It's on Netflix, and I think there's like 8 episodes. We're on episode 3 coming up. Bodies. Have you ever heard of it? Yeah.
No. Who's in this, Harry?
It's like British, based in England, Whitechapel, which I guess is a part of London.
Okay.
And it's like this crime murder kind of thing. But it goes back through like different time periods within the show. They go to like 3 or 4 different spaces of time, and it's kind of the same story. It's pretty unique. It's pretty wild.
I will tell you this. It's interesting that you say that. The British crime shows
they're great.
Fucking great.
Yeah, they're great.
Did you ever watch Broadchurch?
Yes. You recommended that. It was a 1-season deal. I watched that. Yeah.
And then they had Marcella.
Mm-hmm.
Is another great British crime. The way they do it is so different. They don't hit you like just to shock the eyes. They shock the belly.
Yeah.
That's the way they pull you there, not just in your head.
Right.
So it's a very cerebral, different experience. I'll have to watch it. Bodies. I'll put it in the
Bodies.
queue.
And what was the other thing I saw this past week? You've seen it. The other one, the Bob Weir documentary.
Oh, it's so good.
So good.
Yes. Are you just seeing that now, Harry?
I think I watched it a couple years ago when it first maybe hit, and because it seemed a lot of it seemed like I'd seen it before. Yeah, so I think I watched it one time a while
Bob's
back.
great in that. Barefoot through most of it.
Well, I hung out with Bob. You know
yes,
that.
You have. Yeah, he's a friend.
Bob's actually related to my family.
Is that right?
Well, yeah, my cousins. I guess he would be my second cousin, is cousins with Bob Weir.
Wow.
And that's when the night we went to the Tower Theater to see his band, we had backstage access.
Because of that.
Through Chris. And then, but Chris and Bob had never met. Wow. They didn't know Bob didn't know of Chris's existence. And when we're backstage talking about all this other stuff, we finally, thought like, this is the time you got to tell him. And when he told him, like, you would have thought like Bob just got like hit with a bullet. He was just like, holy, like he was blown away.
Wow,
and then they started going through the family, who's related, and it was wild. Just
you got egg Karen and Cookie, little Tony, the whole thing, right?
Yeah, it was wild. It was wild. But that's a good documentary. And
fantastic. Yeah.
I got to tell you, I got to run this by you because I saw this the other day. The Manning cast. You know what that is, right?
Yep. Yeah.
All right. Apparently the ratings are really down.
Why? I thought it was fantastic when it first came out.
Well, yeah, and I think a lot of people did. Hence, they renewed it, and Eli's getting even more commercials as a result of it. But I think it's kind of peaked. It's played out, is what people say.
That quickly, huh?
Isn't that amazing?
Jesus.
Because the games are typically garbage. The Monday night games typically stink, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's a lot of bad football. Waning. There's a lot of bad football on Thursday nights and Monday nights. But you would think that with the bad game that would sort of save it, but apparently not. Apparently it's all played out.
Yeah. Well, you know what the deal is now, Harry? Things get built up really quick and then people just lose interest in shit. Yeah. Or on to the next thing so quick. And like to have any sustainability is so difficult now because people have no fucking attention span.
Right.
None.
Right.
I mean, it is. But I used to sit through the worst Monday Night Football game start to finish just because it was football.
Well, now, but it was also rare. Like you didn't have many primetime games back in the day.
And I didn't have other options.
And now you can watch every game. You can watch any game you want now. So it's like, big deal.
Yeah. And I don't need to go like now I go like I didn't have YouTube to go, okay, let me go down a Steely Dan YouTube rabbit hole.
Right.
Instead of watching this game.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what you do now. Like
sure.
You want to find the next thing to watch that's going to pique your interest.
Here Joey B says the new car smell is over.
It's over.
He says.
Wow. I put out a picture the other day on Twitter of the Sirius XM with Steely Dan on in my wife's car in the new Jeep.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was Boston Gary said, "Is that in the hair truck?" My truck is now affectionately known as the HAR truck.
HAR, which is the dealership you bought it from, right?
No, it's an HARR.
Oh, double R. Okay,
yeah. It's a full blown HAR.
But they're from up in like Massachusetts, if I remember, right?
Yeah.
I think I looked them up.
I didn't buy it from there, but it must have gone through there at some point.
Right, through auctions and stuff.
That might have been the originator.
Right.
Of the HAR. So now every time I'm like loading the hockey bag in the back, I go, "What's going on, HAR?"
I got the Lulu hat on today.
Oh,
Lulu
nice.
Country Club.
There you go.
Great spot.
Yeah. Let's tell the people about our great sponsor, the Fudge Kitchen, Harry.
Oh, yeah. The original Fudge Kitchen, the official sponsors of Not For Long Media and the OG's podcast. They staple down at the Jersey Shore. You know them. 6 locations: Cape May, Wildwood, Stone Harbor, Ocean City. They make all of their fudge and sweet treats right in the store. Guarantees a delicious product. Stop by and let them know that N4L sent you. But if you're not able to visit in person, not a big deal. They'll ship it right to you. Be sure to check out their website, fudgekitchens.com. You can order it right from there. The original Fudge Kitchen, shipping fudge and sweet treats across the country. And yeah, you got to check out shoreboy.co.
Check that
out. .com. .co.
CO. Not CA for Canada, Harry. Like sportsnet.ca. Or the Saskatoon Blades.ca.
Here we go.
What's this? Mert's wife cruising the local colleges in the Willies. Buckled. She's on her way to Pittsburgh today.
Buckled.
Yeah.
She driving?
Yeah, she's going out with her brother and my youngest daughter. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and when she goes out there, her best friend lives out there. Her best friend married my college roommate.
I see.
And it'll be quite the experience out there, I'm sure.
I bet. Now, did she bring her own supply, or will she have it out there?
Oh, she'll have the box, Harry.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, Justin says about the Manning cast, people like the comedy, but they'd like to hear a little more insight. But tough when the games aren't great. Yeah, it's tough to have great insight on a bad football game.
Yeah, it is.
With a bad quarterback. I mean, did you see that game last night? I watched like 5 minutes of it. Chicago and Carolina.
I did not see it. Yeah, I'm not on that. And
then the Monday night game had the Jets. See, they got the Jets in all these primetime slots because they thought Aaron Rodgers was going to be the quarterback.
Yeah. They got to pivot.
It's a shame you can't pivot from that, but they can't.
They should absolutely be able to pivot from that. It'd be better, good for business.
Yeah,
to be able to pivot. I don't need to see that Jets team now.
Well, we got no Eagles this week, so the afternoon, the doubleheader game is the Cowboys against the awful Giants I can't watch the Giants.
Yeah, they are just
I don't care who
miserable watch.
Yeah, terrible.
Yeah, I got no Eagles this week and no F1. This
Well,
is
yeah.
an outrage.
But the F1 comes to Vegas soon. I just saw that they
Next week.
finished the paddock area,
Mhm.
which looks really cool. They bought like a parking lot for, I don't know how much money they spent on it, but it was like a big lot in Vegas near the Strip, and they made that the paddock.
Yeah, they built the paddock, and then they're going to have that's where the pit lane's going to be.
Right. It looks really cool.
Yeah, I think the track is going to suck ass, to be honest with you.
You do?
Yeah, I think it's going to. I don't like the layout of it.
Well,
I've
is it
driven
part
on
of the Strip?
sim.
Is it part of the Strip? Yeah.
The longest straight is basically the entire strip, which is an absurdly long straight. I mean, it's going to be nuts. Like if you have what's called DRS when your rear wing opens, if you're within the second of the car in front of you, at a certain point, you get this thing called DRS, and the wing opens, and the air goes through it, so you don't have any drag. So you go way faster. It's to aid overtaking and aid taking over a car in front of you. But there's it's going to be so powerful there, it's going to be ridiculous because the straight is so long.
And how long is it? Is it a couple miles?
No, it's probably it might be like 1.2 kilometers, so close to a mile.
Okay, yeah,
They'll do it at 210 miles an hour.
They paid $240 million for the empty lot.
Yeah,
that is incredible.
Dough coming out of their ears.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. I don't think it's going to be a great race. It'll be a great atmosphere. The race is 1 a.m. our time, Saturday and the Sunday, because it's Vegas, so they're doing it at 11 o'clock their time, local time.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it'll be one. I prefer actually a 1 a.m. race start, Harry, to a 6 a.m. Sunday morning race start. So I'll stay up.
Yeah,
I will not get up for a 6 a.m.
Yeah, you're the exact opposite clock of me.
Yeah, when they're at the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix in Imola, Italy, I am not getting up at 6 a.m. Harry. Or the circuit that's the Catalunya.
Now, do you DVR those races?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I'll go back and watch it at my convenience. I don't need these Europeans determining when I got to get up.
Right.
Why should I abide by their schedule?
No, I agree. I'm with you.
All right, let's wrap it up there. Anything else you want to get to?
No, that's it.
Yeah, we've certainly said enough.
I went on with Bruno this past week on his new network, and you were requested.
Oh,
you're a guest that they want to get on.
All requests Saturday night, Harry?
Exactly.
Let's go
Bob Pantana's dance party.
The freaking Cougars flying everywhere there at Michael's Cafe, Harry.
There you go.
It's like shooting fish in a barrel. All right, everybody, have a great weekend. No Eagles game. We'll be back next week. And thanks to Mikey Mister coming on. We really enjoyed the conversation. And we'll be back next week. We'll tip into episode 80. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend, everybody.